Low fidelity gang.
Traptendo.
What's going on, guys? DJ Av here, and the link will be in the description box. Free download Friday, though it's not Friday, I know. What we're going to be talking about is Tone 2 boosters. I'm going to be demonstrating that, but we're going to start with the installation process, which isn't that difficult to do. Again, since the link is in the description box, you can download off my website at djavmccree.net / free downloads. You're just going to open up the folder or whatnot. Make sure that you unzip it twice if you have to. Sometimes my website will zip a file for me. I don't know why. But anyway, so, it's only for Windows too at that. So, I apologize. So what I'm going to do is, all you have to do is this right here. You just go to either your 64-bit folder or your 32-bit folder. Again, Mac guys, unfortunately, y'all don't have a lot of free VSTs. So, spare me the nasty grams. So all you have to do is just copy the file over and then just go through your C drive or whatever and go to your program files that is according to whatever the 64-bit or x86, which is 32-bit. Go to whatever according folder it is, and then just paste it in there. And just VST plugins. All my VST plugins for my 32-bit VSTs are in here. And then you just paste it. And I'll just replace file just cause. And I give the folder permission or the file permission to be dropped in there. That's a precaution of Windows, to make sure that you're not doing anything foolish. And then there you go. So again, this is how it looks like or whatnot. I'm gonna play the track without the VST, and then I'll talk about what it exactly does. What it does exactly. Awesome. I did a good job here. But anyways, 3, 2, 1, here it comes. Alright, so now I'm going to unbypass the Time Machine plugin itself here, and now I'm going to detach it as well. Here we go. So we're going to hear it now. It is on now, and now I will turn it off. So, foolish me, I gotta pull up a preset that comes with it. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna put on 12-bit Legends and see how that runs. It's pretty subtle within 12-bit range here, so you can adjust the bit rates and stuff like that. But anyways, I really want to talk about how these lo-fi plugins work when it comes to like sampling, resampling. Basically, bit crushing and all that is a form of compression that they use in the early 70s to now, I guess, maybe, perhaps, if they still do like cartridge-based games that need files to be compressed as far as the audio. And what that does to the audio is it kind of downgrades the quality of it. But now everybody really likes it because that whole 8-bit feeling gives you more of a retro sound, and the 12-bit feeling to your drums and stuff like that helps your drums sound a little loud, a little crunchier within the mid-range, but not too loud, but they're also bigger. But they used to use that for cartridge-based gaming or tapes and stuff like that, or just as a way or a means to grab files and put them in there and make them fit inside of like old school drum machines like the MPC 60. I know the 3000. I don't think the 3000 was 12-bit. I think that might have been their first 16-bit. It might be 16-bit mono. But something like the SP12, the SP1200 and stuff like that by EMU or EMU as people call them. Yeah, so that was their ways of just fitting files in there. And a lot of people have a personal preference against it. So it probably might benefit me if I was to put this on the drums. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna pull up Time Machine in there on a drum track. So I just routed it to a track here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Time Machine right here, and I'm going to we're gonna see. So I got more room to turn up the sound itself, so I'm gonna have the bass going. So with that, I will experiment. Since it's at 16-bit right now, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down to about 9. Now you can actually hear some of the extra white noise and stuff like that, some of the DC offset of that. I'm gonna see if I can use some dithering to kind of like even out how the bit rates and stuff like that are being distributed, so that way that, you know, I don't have as much noise. Okay, now I got an MU law, which is a little older than dithering, which dithering kind of came around during the late 90s as a way for our OS to kind of compete with DC offset. But you can hear it is crunchier. The snare is crunchier. Don't know if it's preferred. But what I am going to do is I'm going to turn down the sample rate, because changing the sample rate will help as well. It will eliminate some of the lower frequency, the higher frequency content in there, and kind of just focus more or less on the lower end of the snare. And it's very useful too. Now the snare is starting to sound more or less like something off of the Atari 2600, which, you know, some of y'all are too young to even remember that, and me in certain cases, because I wasn't born in the late 70s. I was born early 80s. I am old, but I'm not that old. As I introduce more sample rate to the sample itself in the hertz, I'm able to dictate how the crunch is. Mess around with the DA analysis. So it looks like this feature right here, as far as saturation mix, it looks like you may be able to parallel mix this. I'm not 100% sure about this. Again, I wanted to point out that our main focus right now is the snare and not the 808 itself, but we can go back to, and I'm gonna bypass. and focus on the master bus and mess with this. So I'm gonna mess with the bit rate again. As you can see, it added more character to the 808 itself. So this is very bit crushing. Again, has a lot to play with making your 808s as well have a certain kind of distortion too. So keep that in mind as well when you want to mess with like your 808s or even your overall sound. As I bring back every part of the melody. So right there with reducing the sample rate and a couple of thousand hertz, you can hear the lo-fi quality in there. That's actually the way that how I manufactured the drums in TRIPLE SEIS LOFI versus using something like a different kind of a plugin and whatnot. I actually naturally reduced the hertz in those drums so they can have a grittier sound and produce more of a bigger drum without it having too much of the highs in there. Forty-eight 48,000 hertz represents 24-bit, by the way. Around in the 41K, that represents 16-bit. Around in that range, about 8-bit. High pass filter on there. It's not double left clickable to where it will reset the actual parameter right here, but whatever, man. It's a free plugin, that is. Messing with a couple other features like the AD aliasing, just to see what it does and stuff like that. And a little bit of the of added harmonics and added frequencies. Definitely, when you turn it to right, you hear more of the high end. And then when you turn to the left, you hear more of the lower end. Which kind of seems redundant, because if we were looking at like the high pass kind of does that as well. But this is aliasing at its best, so it has its own default feature to it. So now that we have played with this plugin, this actually is it's kind of more effective at lo-fi and resampling more so than Isotope Vinyl, which I've done on Free Download Friday. However, Isotope Vinyl has a little bit more features in terms of just like how vinyl actually acts. But this is cool. It's a cool free plugin. I've heard it. It says demo on there, but it should be fully working. It should be fully working within this plugin and whatnot, because within this project, because this was a free plugin. It's always been a free plugin, and it's a part of their evaluation package. But this is free. But anyways, yeah. That's about it, guys. DJ F here. I'm glad you stuck it with me. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I just wanted to show y'all how this plugin works. Again, sorry for the late free download Friday. Sorry for you guys that have Macs. Again, Macs don't have Mac OS doesn't really have that many free plugins and stuff like that. So, you know, Windows gang. Anyways, DJ F here. Y'all have a good day. God bless.
Trap Tendo.